Hello my friends, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We are painting another Christmas card or Christmas themed painting today. So what I have done is traced out I had my acrylic paint bottle and I just placed it on top. See, this is what I mean when I say I buy dollar store stuff. And it works. I just put that on there, I traced the bottle out, and then I put a little ornament cap. I don't know what those are called. It's the thing that you put the wire into and hang it on your tree. And I also wrote whatever Christmas greeting. I wrote Jingle Bells because I write Merry Christmas on so many cards that I wanted to change it up a little bit. So Jingle Bells seemed appropriate. And I then erased it so that it's visible to me. You might have a hard time seeing it, but I can see it. And it's just there as a guide for myself so that when I'm painting my little wreath thing, you know, I have a guide to go off of. So this is going to be like a wreath that is actually a Christmas ornament. And so I'm gonna start with, sorry, I'm just mixing my paint here as I'm trying to figure things out and organize myself. So I'm gonna start with my size quadruple 0 brush. And this is inspired by Miss.elalin. So we are gonna start off with our little pine branch. So you want this part to be more narrow, and then as you move down, it's gonna become wider and thicker in terms of your foliage. So just keep that in mind. So I'm just painting like a pine branch here. And I really like using my quadruple 0 brush for this. Gives me the control that I need, and I can paint ultra fine details. It's such a nice day today. Like, it's really sunny and warm, but I am on a mission. There will be more warm and sunny days this summer. I need to finish painting this stuff. So I'm alternating my greens because I want some variety. So this new palette that I've been using a lot recently, it has so many different kinds of greens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10 different types of greens, which at the beginning I found overwhelming because I was used to having 2 greens, or 3 even, but 2 that I regularly used, and it was just really hard to initially decide what colors to use. Sorry. Because usually I would just mix the colors that I needed for whatever I was painting, right? But here I had them all to my disposal and I just didn't know what to do. But I've gotten used to it very quickly, actually. So I'm just switching gears now. It's kind of hard to see my pencil marks, honestly. but I am painting, getting thicker and thicker as I move down the circle. So this is just some thicker green foliage, leaves of some sort, a leafy branch. And I keep switching between my size 1 and my size quadruple 0. I use the size 1 for the itty bitty stems, smaller details, and then my size 1 for the leaves. Okay. I have a size 00 here that I almost never use, but I'm going to use it now because I don't want to rinse my brush of the green just for these little white details I want to add. So I've taken my white watercolor and I'm just adding them on. They're like frosted tips almost. And I can only do that because with this palette, the paint is super opaque and it allows me to. Otherwise, it would be, like with my previous palette, I couldn't really do that. So again, another win for this palette. And I know, like I had some comments in a previous video, and these were probably from people that have more experience with paints, like different types of paint, and they have the resources to buy and experiment with all the different types of paints, even the super expensive ones. And that's, you know, super good for them. That's great that they can do that and want to do that and whatnot, but you know, if this is my experience that I'm really enjoying these paints and I'm being genuine and I'm not deceiving people into buying things, I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, like obviously this set, it's a budget set in the sense that many people can afford it, in contrast to like $100 sets or more. But that doesn't mean it's a bad set. Like clearly if I'm using it and I'm saying, oh my gosh, this is so much better than what I've been painting with and using on this channel for 3 years, then it can't be that bad. I really like it. I really like this set, and so I highly recommend this set as a like a budget watercolor set. If you're looking to get into watercolor but you don't want to spend a lot of money, I think this is a really, really great option for you. So check out my link if that speaks to you. So again, just adding my frostiness to my leaves here. Okay. So what are we gonna do next? Maybe add a little bit of blue to my green. This is going to be holly. And we'll add some little berries in a moment to help complete the look. So you certainly do not have to follow what I am doing here. Like, you can paint whatever you want. Like, I'm kind of following the reference I have here, but I wish I had done a few more pine branches, because that's what I like painting, and I always think that's what adds novelty and beauty to wreaths especially. But it's not too late to do that, so I'm certainly going to in a moment. I remember at the beginning of the summer, I was saying that I'm going to be going to the beach a lot and it's going to be great, but I've just kept so busy, and I'm doing it to myself because I don't have to be this busy. I can say, no, I'm not going to paint. I'm going to go enjoy the sun. I'm going to go to the beach today. But I tend to reserve those exceptions for weekends when I'm spending time with my husband, because if I did that all the time, I would feel way too guilty and I wouldn't get everything done that I want to get done. And I'm the person that is going to get done what I want to get done. Sometimes to my own detriment, but it is going to happen one way or the other. I don't think I set unrealistic goals for myself. I set very high goals for myself, and maybe for some people that's not realistic, but I think they're achievable and attainable. I just need to, put the time in. Don't take so many breaks or waste so much time on tasks that don't matter, like browsing YouTube or whatever. In all these little gaps, I'm gonna add some random pines coming out. And of course, we are definitely going to add some like red details in a moment for holly, or what other little red berries grow. I don't know what they're called, but they grow along the riverside a lot here. And I always put them on my in my planters, in my winter planters. I'm going to switch to my size 1. I might regret this, but using the smaller brush takes forever because I have to constantly reload the paint. Oh, I should have added some pine cones to this. That would have been nice. Like as a base here, that's what I would have done, but it's kind of a little late now to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to grab red, and we're going to paint those berries that I mentioned earlier. So you can have round berries, or you can have like these egg-shaped berries. And I've basically exclusively painted the round ones in previous years for Christmas. But there's some that look a lot nicer, which I'm gonna try to emulate. Like they just have this extra little bud thing, this black thing, black button almost, which makes it look more like a berry and less like a red ball. I mean, I think I might still add some of the little guys, like the little red berries as well towards the top where I want smaller ones. So that's looking nice. So some of those little ones I'll just pop like up here and just sporadically in random places. Sorry if that was not on the camera. And I also want to grab some white watercolor that I will use to add white accents to the bigger berries. Although some of the white covered the whole berry, which I don't want because I do want them to be a nice vibrant red. So maybe skip that part if you don't want to deal with the mistake that I just made. And then you can take black. I have some brown on my palette, so I'm just going to use that because you really can't see it. I'm going to try, I don't know if that's blurry or not. I tried to do a hyper close up there. And I'm just adding the little bud end to the berries, and this is what I was talking about, that will make them a little more realistic looking, more berry-like. And then you can also attach them to something because mine are kind of floating. Okay, so I like how this is looking, how this is coming out. However, I'm gonna grab white again and just add some veins to my holly so that it doesn't look so flat. And the other thing is I'm gonna pick up some white with my size 1 brush. I wanted to add like snow or something onto the green, but I think there just might not be enough color, like there's not enough volume of color on this for it to really show through. So I think I'll just leave it as I apply more. Okay, so we're getting closer to finishing here. I wrote my jingle bells way too close to that, so I'm gonna have to rectify that in a moment. But I'm going to grab, if you have a gold, which I actually do, I do have gold here. So I'm gonna use it. How exciting. I have a metallic color in my palette. So I'm gonna use that for the cap part. I might add some metallic orange to make it a little darker. Okay, I just need to, yeah, I'm gonna pick up some orange. Metallic orange, fun. And just add that in. Okay, well, I still have to adjust this, but it needs to dry before I can do that. So while that's drying, I am going to adjust my jingle bells. I'm so tempted to freehand it, honestly, because these letters are a lot easier to freehand. But I have learned my lesson. Oh my gosh, if you guys just saw what happened on my table. Sometimes I ask myself why I do this to myself. Oh, that is so frustrating. I have to clean this up. So what happened is okay, it's a very long story, but I place my cup of water on top of my palette, and I paint on a really flimsy table. And when I was erasing, it just spilled everywhere all over the palette. And it is not like my previous palette where they're all in individual half pans and all is well. No, they are all connected in like this giant palette thing. And so the water got everywhere, and I just kind of took a paper towel and quickly cleaned it up, but okay, so I'm just gonna go over that with my marker, my fine tip marker. Okay, so this, I wish I used a darker marker, not darker, like a thicker one, which like I can just go over it again, but I have the potential of messing it up. Okay, that looks okay. The S should have been a little lower, but that actually really bothers me. So let's see if we can fix that. The L should have been lower. I'll maybe go in with acrylic paint there later. Okay, so I hope that top part is dry, because now we're gonna go in and try to I don't want to say fix, because we're not fixing anything, we're just enhancing it. So I'm taking my quadruple zero brush, and I dipped it into the orange metallic. I'm just like outlining lightly to add the grooves and like texture and whatever to this cap. And then I'm gonna take some black as well with the same quadruple zero brush. And I'm gonna add that little loop. Oh, I should wait for that to dry before I add that loop. So I will add the string that this hangs off of instead. That's not really how I wanted that to look. I got distracted. Why didn't I just use a marker? I should have used a marker. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm making a lot of mistakes. Okay. So I really want to finish that off. I just dried it the quick way. And little black hoopy thing. Although I went way too far into this with the black. There we go. Okay, I think that's not too bad. The only other thing I'm gonna do is whiten that, like add acrylic paint to make these letters a little less thick, like the L and the S. And that is basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this beautiful Christmas card tutorial. Let me know what you think in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next tutorial.